Hello, my name is Nicole Boitis, and I'm doing my presentation for my final on how does family environment affect self-esteem development. This is going to basically cover ages of children and how we are affected as children, and how it is reflected into our adult and adolescent stages. So my introduction. How does family environment affect self-esteem development? So what is self-esteem? Well, according to a couple of articles about self-esteem that I have found, I took two definitions. Individual subjective evaluation of her or his worth as a person. So basically, it's how you perceive yourself, not how others perceive, how you perceive yourself as your worth in person. Along with self-esteem, essentially consists of how a person thinks about and evaluates the self. So how you think about yourself, how you evaluate yourself, essentially results in your self-esteem. So you think of yourself as beautiful, you feel that you're a beautiful person, that you're a good person, and you feel confident in that. You feel like you're a bad person, and you reflect off that. I just wanted to take two different definitions. So why is this important? Well, according to the textbook, self-esteem derives from three sources: family experiences of acceptance and discipline. So basically, just kind of summing that up really quick. Family experiences of how involved your family is, and the discipline behind it. Are they involved in it? Are they involved enough to discipline you to make sure that you stay on the right path, that you're doing the right things? And then the comparison of our own success and failures with those of others. So self-esteem derives from the three sources: family, acceptance, and how you are successful with others. So why is it also important? Because it's a common ground for society. Everybody has self-esteem, whether it be high or low, good or bad, influential or not. It's going to influence society as a whole. So for the literature review, I had to look up a couple of scholarly articles. I'm going to go ahead and review those for you, which will be presented throughout the presentation. So the first article was Self-Esteem Development from the ages of 14 to 30. And the summary recap of this one was, a lack of self-esteem in adolescence can lead to bad mental and physical health. If you have a bad adolescence from the ages of 10 to 16, 14 to 30, your mental health and your physical health can be bad, depending on how you're raised. So low self-esteem factors for antisocial behavior, disordered eating, possible depression and suicide. Gender playing its role in factors. So males have higher self-esteem than females in the teenagers. As a female, that can be seen as very possible, just due to the expectations of a teenage young lady having to satisfy and live up to a certain potential. So my next article is perfectionism and work-family conflict. So this is about striving to be perfectionist in a family base, but a family base for this case. Conflict between work and family roles due to upbringing. How self-esteem intervenes in the relationship between a perfectionist at work and at home. So they said this was about how an individual who was not raised with the best and highest self-esteem, they tend to have conflict of distinguishing both a work ethic versus a home-based placement of a parent versus a boss. And because they strive to be perfectionists because they didn't have that high self-esteem as a child, they're striving for perfection, which is bringing conflict, the work-family conflict. That will be also discussed in the findings. Family environment and self-esteem development from ages 10 to 16 years old. It consists of a child and parent. The study was consisted of a child parent with a father and mother, and then it did a study without the father. Factors help to identify self-esteem issues. These issues consider the parents' warmth, behavior, hostility, monitoring, participation in education, parents' state of mind, were they happy, depressed, etc. Economic placement, rich or poor, middle class. All these factors play into a child's development of self-esteem. And this is a study on these statistical traits. The illustrator could continue. The grass is always greener on my friends' profiles. This was going to be reflected into the findings as well. The article is about how social media specifically plays its role in affecting the self-esteem in the friend and family-based platform. Affects self-esteem due to expectations needing to be obtained and not being obtainable. Because we're raised with low self-esteem, we feel like we need to uphold this high prestige life on social media to make ourselves feel better or to match our friends. So are your friends, are close friends the enemy? Online social networks, self-esteem, and self-control. Recap how social media is used to study self-esteem. They browse through social media accounts, answered questions on a scale. They answered questions on a scale of emotional observation of the thing. So basically, how did this make you feel on a level of 1 being good, 10 being the worst? Does high self-esteem cause better performance, interpersonal success, happiness, or healthier lifestyle? It's important for a child's upbringing, the benefits of self-esteem. The purpose was to show whether high self-esteem is the cause of either negative or positive results towards society. What low self-esteem can bring to an individual's life versus the high self-esteem. The global view on self-esteem. This one kind of gave a whole United States, it went global, did little statistics about it. All these are important factors on how a family base is, because we either are raised with confidence in who we are and it's reflected, or we seek out to find the confidence through platforms of social media, or we fall on being perfectionists. So my research method, my hypothesis was that growing up in a positive, supportive family environment contributes to the self-esteem levels of the individual, in which they contribute to society. I used a Google Docs site, and it was a survey which consisted of several closed-end questions. Yes or no. There was 10 subjects and volunteers specifically counted. The purpose was to give a simple example of how a small amount of individuals view themselves based on their past decisions and upbringing results, to just show how they view themselves and how they are contributing to our society as an individual with their shape today. So the possible issues, because it was such a small amount of applicants, and the possible time error in age group is unknown. So findings: what is expected? Hypothesis is when a person with high self-esteem and their contributions to society is more influential than as an individual with low self-esteem. It's all started from a strong family base. Now we're going to get into the findings. So were you ever told you were loved as a child? 100% people said yes. Did you grow up in a positive family environment? We had 7 said yes and 3 said no. Do you remember being told that you were beautiful or handsome as a child? And then we have a 90% and a 10%. How often were you told you were loved? Very often versus not often. So with those, it's most people feel that self-esteem is important. It is difficult, if not impossible, for people to remain indifferent to information that bears on their own self-esteem, such as being told that they are incompetent, attractive, untrustworthy, or lovable. Increase and decreases in self-esteem generally bring strong emotional reactions. Moreover, these fluctuations are often coincident with major success and failures. So when we're told that we are loved, and we're told that we are cared for, and we have a positive environment, and that we're beautiful and handsome, these things can lead to a positive role model, a positive attribute to society, because they bring in positive affirmations. So do you have a positive role model present when growing up? 9 out of 10 said yes, 1 said no. Were you exposed to any type of child abuse as a child? That was a 50-50. And were you raised with supportive parents? 9 out of 10 said yes. So another quote from one of my articles is, cannot think of a single psychological problem from anxiety and depression to fear of intimacy or success to spouse, battery, or child molestation that is not traceable to the problem of low self-esteem. So when we have low self-esteem in a family-based environment, as presented on the data graphs, things as battery, child molestation, depression, anxiety, all those factors can come into play, and that alone ties into how we can hurt society as an individual. Being there's a certain amount of people in this group can range to such a high number walking the streets. So do you have a good influence of friends as a child? Do you currently have a good influence of friends? And did you purposely surround yourself with a bad influence of peers as a teenager? So this one is related to the social media platform of how when we have low self-esteem as a child, we tend to seek out through our friends. We tend to seek out through social media in a sense of being somebody that we're not, to uphold a scale that we want it to be. So let me just speak down to one of the participants said, I feel like it consumes you to the point where you can't live a normal life because you see everybody else. It makes you think that your life is not fun or exciting or interesting as other people, which is sad because it's not true. And so basically this is this participant, was saying that this one was from, as the grass is really greener on my friend's profile, basically saying that you have to uphold a certain persona to social media to feel better about yourself. So findings continue. Social media has a low self-esteem. You feel worse about themselves due to social media reality that they do not achieve having to live a perfect life in it, and it's not. They show that social networks use hence self-esteem due to focus on self-presentation concerns. Specifically, the results show that social network use only enhances self-esteem and those focused on strong ties when they're cued to think about information they are presenting to others while browsing a social network. They show that social network use enhances self-esteem due to the focus on self-presentation concerns. So this one was basically how the weak and strong ties to self-esteem. So if you have a strong tie to browsing social media, your self-esteem goes down. Versus if you have a weak tie, which is not really looking for anything specifically, your friends trying to show off, your self-esteem goes up because you don't let it affect you. Versus the presentation of focus, if you have a strong tie for your presentation focus, what you post up, you tend to go down. Or others. So when you see other people post about buying a new car and getting a new house, and finding a relationship and falling in love and all these things, it tends to bring you down because you want those things and you don't have those things and you compare yourself. And you go down in your self-esteem. Whereas if you have a weak perspective, weak tie, as in you're not really letting those things affect you, yourself, you continue to grow. You see the beauty behind, what you really have. And that the other side of the neighbor's profile is not greener than what it is. So findings continue. Do you view yourself as a smart individual? If you could change any physical appearance by yourself, would you? Do you feel comfortable in your own skin? And are you considered good looking? All these play into the role of working home. So starting with a high self-esteem at home, as a child being raised, you tend to be able to distinguish yourself from work versus home, distinguish yourself viewpoint and in society. So common first experience of conflict between work and family roles that include time management issues, psychological strain, and behaviors performed in the service of one role, interfering with expectations of another. Like I said, parent versus a boss. And because of that, because you're raised with such low self-esteem, you tend to overthink situations, like its responses of 8 out of 10, or you tend to put people down, as even though 9 out of 10 said no, that 1% said yes. And this is only on a scale of 10 people. Early childhood family environment has a long-term and possibly enduring effects on self-esteem that can be observed in adulthood. Speaking up if something's wrong, and then putting people down as a child. When you got put down as a child, how people fall victim to these things. So the discussion and conclusion. So self-esteem is impacted at a young age. Importance to embedded positive affirmations into our children as a role model. This means struggles as an adult with the workforce conflict is a possibility. Struggles with confrontation and problem solving. A strong family base is essential to potential in a child. And keeping the world diverse keeps society strongest. So how is all tied to how a family environment affects self-esteem development? We must raise our children and be a positive role model to those that we are around at a young age. Being positive, giving it positive affirmations, shape who they'll be as an adult, how they'll treat other people as an adult, how they treat people in their teens, the friends, the success that they make, and it's all ties in how we reflect to society. How are we going to be beneficial to society? A positive role model will be beneficial to society by benefiting society. And then I have my works cited, as I presented in the beginning of the research presentation. Thank you so much.